Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you want this to be more of a peaceful video, there's going to be subtitles. Feel free to turn off my voice. I love those videos where you can just watch and read the subtitles, but sometimes I wish that I could just listen and have it on in the background, so I figured I would try out both. This is a video that I'm hoping to make into a little series, and that's come along with me to figure out my creative style and rediscover my creative style. I have never particularly had a defined style, but I am a trained painter. I went to art school. I did go to school for industrial design, but I took a lot of printmaking and creative classes. But I definitely had the belief that I couldn't make it as a painter. So instead, I went to school for something that I still loved, but wasn't exactly what I wanted to do per se in the art world. So I'm still doing marketing design. I have a business. I've been doing that for 5 years now since I got out of school and was diagnosed with Crohn's, and the pandemic happened. So I'm heading into my 6th year of business, and after a bunch of traumatic things that happened in college, I really dropped painting and I refused to do it, which sounds dramatic, but I think it was because it put me into a meditative state and it felt really overwhelming to feel those emotions come up. So it's been a couple of years of doing To Be Magnetic and doing meditations frequently and routinely and uncovering things that have stopped me from painting in the past. So I'm really excited. I definitely have an idea of what my style is like, and that's more whimsical and not necessarily cartoony, but I was trained as a realistic painter and took classes growing up in school and out of school, and I really enjoyed realism. I was told along the way that realism isn't like, it's not that you're not a real painter, but it's just easy, which is not true. But my art teacher was amazing. She did say that she didn't believe in realism and that you had to have like this little bit of whimsy to make the style your own. And honestly, I kind of believe that. Like, if you're good at painting, I really believe that anyone can paint, but if you're good at it, painting realistic paintings can be easy in a way. I don't know, that's a very blanket statement, but I definitely love realism. However, it itches a part of my brain that I connect with now, being older and understanding this, with perfectionism and overachieving. And when I was just being myself and being creative and drawing in my bedroom and not in a class or at school, I would draw these little characters from like the little golden books. There was this one in particular, I can't remember the name, but if I can find it, I'll put it on the screen. And I used to draw people and kids, and I was kind of good at it, at least from what I remember. I think if I pulled out all of my old paintings and drawings, I would find kind of like this undercurrent like of a style, but right now I have no idea what that would have evolved into if I had still been painting. So today I am painting. You can see I have a picture of a little fox on my phone, but it was really sad. I passed a coyote that was hit on the highway, and it was very intact, and it was really, really sad. It made me cry in the car. I get really upset seeing roadkill, and this coyote just looked like it was sleeping on the side of the road. And that night, sometimes I'm not necessarily dreaming and I'm not really awake, but I'll get ideas, and I just got this urge to paint this coyote to, I don't know, remember it and honor its little life being cut short. And it just felt really heavy and sad, but at the same time, I was like, this would be a really good exercise for me because I love painting people and animals. And one of my goals for myself is to paint a little bit each week and make it quick and easy, not spend a ton of time on it, not make it precious, because otherwise I get really frustrated and then I'm more likely to not come back to it. So this was today's project, painting this little coyote. And now let me mention, I'm an idiot because I was going to say, I don't know what's up with this sketchbook that I bought, but it's terrible. And it's weird because it was recommended by a woman on Substack who is a fully professional artist making money on her art. And she swears by this sketchbook, and yet it kept warping. Well, I went to go take the tape off for the final shot, and I painted on the intro page. So I'm excited to continue on using the sketchbook on a real page. It did make me chuckle, but it still came out pretty cute, I think. And I love him. He's adorable. Or her, I have no idea. But it was a lot of fun to do this. I did end up getting this wave of, not anxiety, but I felt really hungry and just kind of like sick. And I do find that when I drop into a meditative state, if I've been really stressed lately, that happens sometimes. So I did stop early, and then I went and had some soup, and then I came back and did a outline in a micron pen. So yeah, I don't usually love gouache. That's what I'm using here, but I am super impatient. And I am not good at watercolor, or I don't love watercolor. It's not my favorite. But I also love how, like, watercolor and gouache, like, they're just very easy to use. And I have this little box in my room. And I did this back in December when I was cleaning out my office. I have this whole bin of art supplies in the back of my closet, but I would never do art because I did not want to have to go back in and get this entire bin and drag it out. So I made this little TJ Maxx like box that I had as decoration. I emptied it out, cleaned it out, and I put in art supplies. So I have my sketchbook watercolor pad in there. I have watercolors, gouache, oil pastels, paintbrushes, a little cup, basically anything that, if the fancy strikes, I can be painting within 10 minutes or less. And that really has removed the barrier to entry for me, at least in my brain. And I'm hoping that I continue on with this, but I'm trying not to be precious about it. It's literally just for me. I get really frustrated that I have a vision for things and it does not come out the way that I want it to. Like, my style, personally, I can see it, but it's not fully evolved yet, whether that is in fashion or art or home stuff, like across the board. I can see it emerging. It's really interesting, but like I said, I'm very impatient. And I wanted it done like yesterday, and I want to be living in this environment, but also it's not super realistic to like go buy new furniture and go buy new clothes all the time, especially when you're rediscovering yourself. And same thing with art and art supplies. I am not using anything fancy. The brushes that I have are fancy. My sister gave them to me when I was in college, and they're incredible. Someday I really want to get, I think they're like water-soluble oil pastels, because I love the way that oil pastels look, but I feel like a little kid when I'm using them, which is not a bad thing, but not exactly the look that I'm going for. And I get frustrated because I have this vision and it's not coming out like that. but those run like $80 a pack. Like, you don't need to go out and buy fancy stuff, but at the same time, if you know art and you do art, then that can be like really frustrating when you're visualizing something and you've worked with something in the past and you're like, oh, this is not the same. But for now, my Hobby Lobby watercolor and gouache set are going to be fine. And that's what I used here. I think it's just a set from Hobby Lobby that was on sale for like $2.50 or something. And then my nice little brushes and a micron pen. But I feel like that's also really important because it makes it less precious and less like, oh, I need to use this for something. And I mean, I'm already using it for content, yes, but at the end of the day, I'm doing this for me and no one else. And if eventually I sell art and stuff, that would be amazing. But that's also not my goal right now. My goal is to just do it for me because that's what I grew up doing and it's really special to me. And I wanted to share it to inspire you guys if you've been interested in doing something creative or you used to paint. Or I was listening to a podcast today and the girl was talking about how she used to do ballet and how her goal for 2026 is to get back into it. This is your sign. Do it for your inner child. It makes your inner child so happy, and I feel like we truly radiate out from our little selves and how we feel about ourselves on the inside. It's all projected outwards, and you just can't go wrong. Like, there's so many benefits to having a creative practice, and I think this took me 15 minutes to do. I know that I go fast, but like, even I'm like kind of a weirdly fast painter and I need to remind myself to slow down. But even if you set aside 30 minutes and just do what you can in that time and then leave it, that in itself can be a really good practice. Yeah, I love doing this, but thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys being here. It means a lot to me that there's already so many of you here on Substack, and there's a lot of you on YouTube that have stuck around with me since the Lovely Digest. So I hope that you enjoy this next phase, and I'm really hoping to make this a series, like I said, because it is my goal to keep coming back to this, and maybe I'll keep painting little animals. And yeah, honoring the little animals of this world, I love that. And it makes me feel like it has purpose, which also helps. If you're looking for an excuse to do art again, giving yourself a little purpose around it can be super helpful. But anywho, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm going to leave it off here and enjoy the rest of the video.